Hello everyone, welcome to the CloudLearn AWS Zero to Hero series. This is a day 13 video. In this video, we are going to talk about static website hosting. This is also a part of S3. S3 offers different types of features within the S3 service, and out of those, static website hosting is a feature of S3 service. What is this? If you have a static website, and if you want to host the website, you can use the S3 service so that no need to create any servers or no need to install the web server softwares and all. S3 static website hosting allows you to host your static website without provisioning any EC2 instances or without installing any web server softwares. And it doesn't support dynamic website hosting. So what is the difference between the static and dynamic websites? Dynamic websites are the websites which were designed using server-side scripting, like a PHP, right, and a JavaScript. If your website contains these codings, then we can say that is a dynamic website. The best example for the static websites are the websites which are designed using HTML and CSS. HTML and CSS. Okay. So I can say S3 offers different types of features, and static website hosting is one of those available features. So S3 allows you to host a static website without provisioning any softwares or without installing the web server softwares. Sorry, here I can say provisioning any servers, EC2 instances, and no need to install any web server software like Apache, Tomcat, right? These are the web server softwares. And S3 doesn't support dynamic website hosting. So what is a dynamic website? The website which is designed using the server-side scripting is known as dynamic website. Example like PHP, JavaScript, etc. And the websites which are designed using like HTML, CSS are known as static websites. Simple thing, just we need to enable the static website hosting feature and we need to upload the website code. Generally, who will provide you the website code, or we can say web pages? The developers will design. I mean, the website, the front end developers or front end designers will design the web pages for your company. And just you can upload and you can enable static website hosting. So here we are not the developers, right? We are not the developers. So we don't know how to write the HTML, CSS web pages. So what we do is we will download a sample website from the internet, which is designed using HTML and CSS. And we will use that website to host on S3 static website. So first, before getting into the practical, let us try to understand the architecture. So first, what we have to do is we need to create one S3 bucket. This is the S3 bucket. Then what we have to do is we need to upload website, or we can say web pages. It might have a single page or it might contains multiple pages. Let us say it might have index.html, contact.html, or services.html. The website might contain multiple pages, but whenever the user access the website, the home page will be loaded, right? You can decide what web page to be visible to the users whenever they access your web page, and all these web pages to be uploaded as a publicly readable. Then only the users can access. Once it got uploaded on the website on the S3 bucket, we will enable static website hosting. We will enable static website hosting, which will generate a URL like abc.abc.com kind of a URL, which is a website name. Then the users, they will open their browser. This is their browser. They can access this URL from their browser, and the request will go to the S3 bucket, and the web page will be loaded. The web page is accessible. This is how the static website hosting works. If there is no static website hosting feature available on S3, then what is the procedure? First, you have to create an EC2 instance, right? In which you need to install the web server software. Install the web server software. Then you need to upload your web pages and all. From here, everything is common. But in this case, you are responsible to install the software, configure the software, maintain the software. And on your EC2 instance, you will have an operating system. You are responsible to manage this operating system. And you're also responsible for securing this server. But in the static website hosting, everything will be taken care by the AWS. Just you're responsible for designing your web page codes and just upload them as a public, just enable it. Everything will be taken care by the AWS. Okay, so first what we do is let us see how to host a static website on AWS S3 service. So here I can say host a static website using AWS S3 service. But it requires a lot of steps, I mean, lot of different things. First thing, create a S3 bucket. I will name it as my website, and the name must be unique, right? So I will use some date in any region. I prefer Northern Virginia region because it is the most commonly used region for learning purpose. Then download a sample website from the internet. If you know any developers, or if you have some friends who can design a website for you, you can ask them to design at least a single page website. Then enable static website hosting on the S3 bucket. Sorry, wait. Upload the web pages into the S3 bucket as publicly readable. Then enable static website hosting feature on S3 and configure the index document. Sorry, index document or root document, both are same. What is this index document or root document? So whenever the user is trying to access the website, your website might have multiple web pages: index, home page, contact us page, support page, services page, and all. So by default, which web page to be loaded for the users? That is what the index document or the root document. So then note down the static website URL and check the website is accessible or not. It must be accessible, right? This is what we are going to test in this particular video. Okay, so first quickly let us go to our Amazon account, navigate to the S3 bucket. So then here click on create bucket. So bucket name, my website, 24 Feb 2025. Why the reason why I am using today's date is for uniqueness. And what are the web pages we are going to upload? Those web pages must be publicly readable, right? To make those web pages publicly readable, object ownership must be enabled with ACL. ACLs must be enabled, and this one, block all public access, must be disabled. You must uncheck this. Then scroll down to the bottom and click on create bucket. Right. So then once the bucket got created, I will go to Google and I will say free static website templates. Okay, let me go here. From any website you can download a sample web page. Okay, I think this is not the free one. There should be something called a free C. Yeah, here it is. freecss.com. Let's go with any website. Any website we can download. So let me download this one. Click here, and it is designed in the HTML5. So it's a static. Click on download. Yep, here it got downloaded. Zip file, right? Okay, let me go to the folder. This one. Let me right click, extract all, because there's a zip file. Okay, so this is the code for your website. We need to upload these files. Don't upload this folder. Don't upload the folder. So this content. So this is the home page. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages are there. In my website, there are 4 different pages. Whenever the user is trying to access this index.html page to be visible. So this is going to be my root document. Okay. Now let me go to S3. So here is the bucket. This is the bucket. Click on the bucket. Let us upload all. The easiest way to upload is, no, not this one. Where is the bucket? This one. Easiest way to upload is click on upload, then go to the folder, select all the files, then just drag and drop here. Total 28 files, including the subfolders and everything. And how can we make these objects as a public? In the permissions, select a grant public read access and click on upload. Files are getting uploaded and almost done. Done. Now what we have to do, we need to enable static website hosting. Where you can see the static website hosting option, on which bucket you would like to enable it, just click on the bucket, go to properties, and if you scroll down, there is one option called static website hosting, right? And here click on edit. By default, that feature is disabled. Now click on edit to enable, select enable, and host a static website index document. Index document in my case is index.html. Why? I would like to show the users this index.html page. If you want to display the service.html, just mention the service.html in the index document place. Then scroll down and click on save changes. That's it. And here you can see a bucket website endpoint. Let me note down that. Now the users can access the website using this particular URL. Let us check whether the website is accessible or not. See here. This is how you can host a static website using static website hosting feature on S3 bucket. See here, these are the four different pages: contact us, services, about, home. At this point, you might have a question. You might have a question by seeing the website name. Let us say you are working for a company called the CloudLearn. You are working for a company called the CloudLearn. So whenever you are running a website for your company, how you prefer the website to be accessible? Obviously, the cloudlearn.com, right? Not with some kind of this random name or randomly generated name, because the static website URL doesn't represent your organization name. Then how it is useful in the real time? In the real time, up to here, the concept is the same. But what they do is there is a feature called, I mean, Route 53. There is a service called Route 53. So what we have to do first, you need to purchase a domain name. You need to purchase, I mean, technically speaking, you need to register a domain name. Then in the Route 53, we will create a record. We will create a record. What is the record? There is a record called alias record. What it will do, it will point the cloudlearn.com to the static website URL. Means the user will type the cloudlearn.com in the browser. Then the request will go to the DNS, which is Route 53 in case of AWS. That's a different service, which we will cover in this particular series. In the next coming sessions, we will cover what is Route 53. We have a complete session, like 1 day session in the Route 53, like 1 hour session. And it will get the actual URL in the backend, and the request will be forwarded to the static website URL. Means the user doesn't know this complex URL. The user can't see, or the user don't know this complex URL. He only uses the cloudlearn.com. Okay, let me show you. Even I am hosting my static website, the cloudlearn.com, using the same concept. I will show you. See here, this static website. This is a static website which is hosted on S3. Let me show you that also in the same AWS account. If I go to bucket.com, but in that case, the bucket name must be the domain name, the cloudlearn.com. If I click here, you can see the index.html page here, right? And if I go to properties, you can see static website hosting is enabled, the cloudlearn.com.s3 website. And I said Route 53, right? Just for your understanding purpose, I will show you that, because we haven't covered the Route 53 topic yet. Also, whoever is interested to understand the architecture and everything, the next video, the day 14 video, I will record a project on how the website will be hosted in the real time using multiple services like Route 53, S3 bucket, and there is something called a CloudFront and ACM, Amazon Certificate Manager, to host HTTPS websites. The next video will be on that, and you can consider that as a project. Okay, right. So here you can see there is a Route 53. There is a hosted zone. I will clean up everything and I will create from the scratch. So this is my hosted zone, and you can see here there is a record. There is a record which is pointing to CloudFront, which is pointing to CloudFront. And this is the CloudFront URL. I mean, this is my actual static website URL. But what I have configured, I created a record by using which whenever the user types the cloudlearn.com, the request will go to this URL. What is this URL? I will show you. See here, the request will goes to this URL. What this particular distribution will do, it will forward the same request to the AWS S3 static website hosting. See here, the cloudlearn.com.s3-website dot. So what exactly happened in this case? I mean, in my website, first the user types the cloudlearn.com. The request will go to a service called CloudFront. The purpose of the CloudFront is to improve the performance to run my websites using HTTPS protocol and all. And what this CloudFront will do, it will redirect to S3 static website. S3 static website. This is a kind of a project which I will discuss in the next video with detailed architecture. I will explain. So this is how you can host a static website using AWS S3. Okay, now how can we clean up? Because once we are done with the practicals, we need to delete the data also, right? We need to delete the data. How can we delete the data? Can I delete this bucket directly? Click on delete, select the bucket and click on delete. Let us try because there are some points you must know. What is the error here? The bucket is not empty, which means you cannot delete a S3 bucket if it contains some data. So first what we have to do, we must empty the bucket. We must empty the bucket like this, empty, right? Now you can delete it. Click on delete and delete the bucket. For the confirmation, you need to type the name of the bucket. Delete bucket. Done. This is how you can delete. So can I delete the individual files one by one? Yes. If you want to delete a single file, select the file, click on delete. It will ask you to type permanently delete for the confirmation. You must type that. Then only you will get the delete objects button. Click on delete like this. This is how you can delete individual objects, or if you want to delete all the objects from the S3 bucket, select the bucket, click on empty, and here type permanently delete and click on empty. So here what happened? All the objects from the S3 bucket got deleted with just a single click. Once the bucket is empty, you can select the bucket, click on delete. While deleting the bucket, it will ask you to type the name of the bucket for the confirmation, just to avoid accidental deletion of other buckets, right? Okay, I hope everyone is clear with how a static website hosting works. If you have any questions, so feel free to ask the questions in the comment section. Thank you, everyone.